DMac is a fucking killer. He knocked down Mad Dog, King Kilo's nephew. Kilo wants DMac dead.
What?
That's right.
Buy some more time with King Kilo.
I need you to convince King Kilo that it wasn't DMac that killed Mad Dog.
You still got the gun that you used to do it?
Yeah, amateur.
Go get me that gun. King Kilo, want a body for the Mad Dog hit? You're gonna get a body with the murder weapon.
I can get you, Tommy Egan. I just can't do it from in here. You have to trust me.
Testify against Roberto Ortega, too.
Deal.
Claudia Flynn is going to testify against Roberto Ortega. She's being released from prison as we speak.
Hey, Unc, you good?
Yeah, just something I gotta handle alone.
Knock 'em off track. When you step in, you could bleed in a second. Kid took a little second to reload up all the weapons.
Time to go terrorize the devil.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. We're here with the season 3 episode 4 of Power Book Force, the full breakdown, recap, Easter eggs, clues, and details, everything we got to pay attention to, look forward to for the rest of the season. And a lot took place within this episode. Of course, we got to talk about Tommy figuring out a way to protect DMac from King Kilo, framing someone else for the murder, helping save his nephew, but finally allowing him back in CBI. By the end of the episode, we got to break down how he pulled off that miracle. We also got to talk about Claudia getting out of jail, deciding to snitch on not only Tommy but Ortega as well, the Marquez cartel. And you guys remember in the last episode, we found out one of the people working under Stacy Marks is also working with the Marquez cartel, so he's going to be able to feed that information back to them as well. And then we also got internal problems within CBI. Of course, Jannard, Diamond, as well as Shanti and Jannard. She's looking to separate herself from even him and run the whole shit by herself. So like I said, a lot for us to break down. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. But let's go ahead and get right into it. As usual with this season, we gotta start off with our boy DMac. He's been carrying so far, and of course we left off episode 3 with Jannard and Diamond setting him up to go on a hit, hoping the 9-7s take him out, but he ultimately survived, completed the mission, and they was just like, fuck it, welcome back to CBI. And that nigga Tommy walked in on the ass. So we pick up the episode from there, and this is where Tommy finds out everything from Diamond about DMac and to get back in CBI, and King Kilo wanted to take him out and everything like that. So Tommy has to come up with a plan to solve this problem. So he decides to go back to DMac. He gets the gun from him that he used to kill Mad Dog, and there's this other nigga who's trying to defect or leave the coalition, and Tommy and them can't have that. They're going to war with the Marquez cartel. They already losing too many people. The other nigga already got his body chopped off in front of Diamond's barbershop, so they can't have this. So they decide to pin the murder on him because there's niggas underneath him who don't necessarily want to leave the coalition, and one of the niggas even want the top spot. So Tommy decide, hey, I'm gonna make a deal with you, get him up out the way, you could become the king, and we're just gonna run shit through you as long as you can get everybody else to back you. They decide to put that plan in motion and go and murk this nigga and take a picture with the gun on the body and have Jannard convince King Kilo that it was never DMac. Now of course King Kilo dumbass fell for this, but Jannard was telling him, hey, if you still want me to take out DMac, I would do it, but hey, he didn't do the shit, whatever. But King Kilo's like, hey, it's good, just send me some proof and everything. That's that basically. And then Tommy, with the bounty off DMac head, he lets him know that fuck it, it's time for me to actually teach you the game, keep you safe. And I already saw a clip talking about how he's gonna make DMac his number 2 and everything of the sort. So we already saw them kind of building his bond. Was that like season 1? Yeah, it had to be season 1 because DMac was wild now in season 2, and then he got shipped away. But in season 1, I remember Tommy had DMac counting money from him and everything like that when DMac was first following him around. Then Tommy found out they was family, so he was trying to keep him safe. DMac ended up getting shot and all that. So he's gonna have him right under his wing this time. He has no choice because DMac is gonna keep doing dumb shit. We've seen it this entire season with him going rob the agent, or him doing the hit on the 9/7. Tommy has no choice at this point, and he finally realizes that, so he's just gonna let DMac back in the game like he probably should have been dead. Next up, we have Claudia, and it's actually a lot of clues and hints and things we're gonna have to look out for with how shit shook out for her at the end of this episode. So of course, she was in prison due to getting caught at the end of season 2 when Tommy set the whole situation in motion, everything like that. And the Marquez cartel was protecting her at first, but then Tommy told Fake to go talk to her, and he wanted her clubs back. She had no choice but to work with him again, and because Tommy's at war with the Marquez cartel is like, you're in bed with the enemy, we no longer protecting you, fuck you, basically. She decides that she's gonna try to get her girlfriend to record Tommy admitting to selling drugs and give that to Stacey Marks, and Stacey Marks let her out of jail. Now, Tommy caught her girlfriend doing this dumbass shit, but he didn't kill her, he let her live. She goes back and gives this information to Claudia. So Claudia makes a deal with Stacey and says the only way I could get to Tommy is if you let me out. But Stacey says, okay, you're gonna have to give me Tommy and testify against Ortega. Now, why is this a big deal? Once again, as I mentioned in the intro, one of the people working under Stacey Marks, the Asian guy, at least I believe he's Asian, he's working with the Marquez cartel as we've seen in episode 3 of this season, and he's looking to bring down Stacey, and she ends up giving this information to him that Claudia's getting out of jail. Now, of course, he knows that the Marquez cartel and Claudia aren't on good terms no more, and he knows based off what Stacey told him that she is testifying, so he makes a call to them. Now, this is relevant and important because we see already in the preview trailer, Tommy and Claudia make a phone call to one another to meet up, say they got more important things, they can squash their beef. Now, obviously, Tommy could be lying, playing her, everything like that. He still got to get back for Liliana. Like, I'm never gonna forget that shit, and I'm so mad Claudia didn't get her ass murked at the end of season 2 when girl shanked her up. But nonetheless, they're gonna have some sort of meetup or something like that, because she's gonna need protection from the Marquez cartel and from Tommy as well. Another thing we're gonna have to look out for is, of course, that Miguel is working with the Marquez cartel to bring down Tommy, so maybe he's gonna have a play in this situation. We already seen in this episode he went to talk to Maria at Tommy's house. Now, I was expecting him to leave a bug or a recording device or something to find out Tommy's plans, his next moves, and everything of the sort, but all he really does is says he wants them to all go out for dinner, and then he makes a call later in the episode to Ortega and lets him know that, hey, next time I call you, I'm gonna have a specific location where you can eliminate Tommy. So when Maria sets up this supposed to be to squash the beef between Miguel and Tommy, this little dinner for all of them because they're family, everything like that, Miguel is gonna give up their location and make it seem like he had nothing to do with it at all. We're gonna have to see how that plays out come the next episode. Maybe this has a lot to do with the funeral we do see them all attending, or also why we do see Miguel and Tommy both teaming up later in the season. Maybe Ortega turned against both of them, we don't know, but maybe Claudia and Tommy decide to work together to eliminate Ortega first before they settle their differences. They have a lot on their plate. Basically, we're gonna have to see how it all works out, but that's currently what's going on with Claudia. She popped out, she's out of jail. Vic let Tommy know, and we saw him staring her down at the end of the episode. We're gonna go more in detail about all this tomorrow when we break down the preview trailer for episode 5. Now, the last person and last thing we have to keep our eye on going forward is, of course, Shanti. We've seen over the course of last season and early on in this one, her and Jannar have been making plans to move both Tommy and Diamond out the way so they could take the top spots. They just need to get the connection with Che first, and then it's good to go. Early in this season, they actually tried to take out Tommy when, at the end of the season 2, they sent the picture of him and Maria to Miguel and was wondering why this nigga was still alive. But nonetheless, in this episode, Shanti is finally realizing that Jannard might be more of a liability than anything, and she decides she needs to start making some moves of her own. And she puts in motion a deal with somebody that unfortunately Jannard robbed in the last season. When he was a fiend, he went, took her chain, her product, everything like that. So they didn't want to do business with Shanti. So this gave her another reason on top of everything Jannard's had going on, not knowing if he wants to take out Diamond, going back on his word about protecting DMac, keeping him close and all this shit. So she's already looking to basically eliminate him from the picture and not be with him anymore. But he goes and gets the chain back from the little drug dealer he sold it to, killed that nigga off the fentanyl, and then takes the chain, goes, brings it back to the girl, squashes that beef so he can make it up to Shanti. She starts distrusting him again even after he does this, due to the fact that he tells her that he has to go talk to King Kilo and convince him that it wasn't DMac who did the situation, because that's what Diamond wants. So she's starting to see more and more that he might decide to side with Diamond over her, and she said she put the crown on his head prematurely. So she's out for herself now more than ever. We're gonna have to wait and see the moves she continues to make as the season goes on. I don't know, I thought she was gonna drop this vendetta against Tommy, maybe they get closer, especially once he saved her life, no less, but that doesn't seem to change. But it looks like she isn't gonna have any allies come the end of the season, and she might be a target for all of them to possibly take out sooner or later. We're gonna have to wait and see, like I said. Overall though, this was a pretty solid episode. I probably would put it last as far as the first 4 we received. It wasn't bad, it was just like pretty good. It was okay, it was solid. It set up a lot more to look forward to. But next week is the mid-season finale. You guys let me know down below if they're doing the 1-week break after episode 5, or maybe they do it like after episode 8 or 9. Like they be doing that shit sometimes, and it be pissing me out. So they might not do a break, hopefully not. Maybe they'll do the break around Christmas, because they did that with Raising Canyon. Well, yeah, I'm just rambling at this point, but you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything down below, each character, their storylines and patch they're going on right now. DMac, he's the MVP of this season still. He's kind of carrying, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really too invested in many storylines. Like, it's some shit I don't even talk about. Like, I don't even talk about Casey or Stacy Marks. Look, I call it Casey. Stacy becoming mayor and shit like that. Like, I just don't care. So it's only so much I actually dive into in these breakdowns. But let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions down below. As I said, leave a like, comment, subscribe though, and I'm out.